Hello. Thank you for joining us for 2 Minutes for Glory. In the history of Israel, there was a time where the armies of Aram had surrounded them. And there, in the city of Samaria, there was no food, and food became very expensive. People resorted to cannibalism and eating things they normally wouldn't eat. And in chapter 7, verse 1, then Elisha said, "Listen to the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord, tomorrow about this time, a measure of fine flour will be sold for a shekel, and 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria." The royal officer on whose hand the king was leaning answered the man of God and said, "Behold, if the Lord should make windows in heaven, could this thing be?" Then he said, "Behold, you will see it with your own eyes, but you will not eat of it." Now there were 4 leprous men at the entrance of the gate, and they said to one another, "Why do we sit here until we die? If we say we will enter the city, then the famine is in the city, and we will die there. And if we sit there, we die also. Now therefore come, and let us go over to the camp of the Arameans. If they spare us, we will live, and if they kill us, we will but die." They arose at twilight to go to the camp of the Arameans. When they came to the outskirts of the camp of the Arameans, behold, there was no one there. For the Lord had caused the army of the Arameans to hear the sound of chariots, and the sound of horses, and the sound of great army, so that they said to one another, "Behold, the king of Israel has hired against us the kings of the Hittites and the kings of the Egyptians to come upon us." Therefore they arose and fled in the twilight, and left their tents and their horses and their donkeys, even the camp, just as it was, and fled for their life. When these lepers came to the outskirts of the camp, they entered one tent, ate and drank, and carried from their silver and gold and clothes, and went and hid them. And they returned and entered another tent, and carried from there also, and went and hid them. The city of Samaria was in such want that people were resorting to cannibalism. And these leprous men decided, well, we'll go to the Arameans and we'll say to them, either kill us or feed us, but we don't want to die here. When they got to the camp, they realized the Arameans had gone. And there was all this food, and they ate. And finally they went back and told the king that the problem was solved. The Arameans were gone. How many times have we been fretting and worrying about a problem that God has already solved? We need to give our problems to God and believe in Him. These lepers came across the reality that God had already delivered them, that they were all starving for no reason because their threat was gone. I want you to understand that a lot of times the things we're afraid of, God's already taken care of. We don't have to be afraid. God has a plan. God has a plan for you. Thank you for joining us for 2 Minutes for Glory. Have a good day and God bless. Bye-bye.